My name is Jeff Phillips. I'm going to steal about 8 minutes of your time. I'm a local author. I got a couple books coming out. I came up with Whiskey Pike, Bedtime Story for the Drinking Mankind. And I got a novella coming out in early December called Turbantan. So I'd just like to share a quick little performance with you guys tonight. Something that's fun, just it's a performative short story. And then afterwards, I'll let you get back to it. I'm going to pass my hat around. Any loose change you got, if you don't mind pitching in, I'll just help out with some production costs, getting some initial books printed up and getting them circulated and out there. Anything would be appreciated. Well, thank you for coming out and for your time. Yay. Did you see that thing moving past? I don't know, something out there just whiffed by in the trees. Didn't you hear the branches snapping? You didn't? I could have sworn I heard something out there. Looks like a fucked up beast. A fucked up ape. No, it wasn't Bigfoot. No, I'm fucking serious, man. I thought I saw something. Whatever, maybe I'm just crazy. You're crazy. Shut up, asshole. No, I'm fucking serious. I'm not trying to scare you. I just thought I saw something and was curious, that's all.
What'd you see?
A fucked up ape.
Ape?
Well, yeah, if anything, you're messing with me. Sure, yeah, I made it up. I made the whole goddamn thing up. Scatterings and whispers from time to time snapped the ears and sharpened the eyes among those who lived near the woods. There was a lurking, there was a presence, there was an unseen shadow. As in any village, people occasionally went missing. Nothing much is thought of it beyond a week's time, chalked up to running away. It's been known to happen. A century scanned by, and the lurking was written off as ridiculous legend. A tale of mischievous teenagers trying to frighten the wits of the village. Every time and place creates its own monsters and ghosts. Gray hair all over its body, it moved like a man and had the tail of a dragon. Fangs almost as sharp tusks. Once a reported description by a little boy who thought he saw a beast was made comical by the adults who praised his imagination, and the children who thought him a liar. As the young boy grew older, he convinced himself of his tendency toward delusion, a non-reality, an overactive and confused remnant of an odd dream. There's nothing in the woods. We have no beasties. New technologies consumed the minds of the village, and new monsters took precedence in the collective imaginations. Terrorists abroad and within the states became the new horror, lurking and erupting. Flashes of color from the television news provided the perfect distraction so that nature could have its lavish will. Its grand species dwelling in guarded anonymity in the woods, in the shade, in the earth. Folks still went missing from time to time, but then again, folks were also known to up and leave for the big city some 200 miles away. Leave the lurking for forgotten tales that gain the weight with the dust of tomorrow. I stepped on something foamy over what looks like a brownish stain of blood upon the rocks of the old quarry. A sighting of something resembling disturbance of the flesh caused the village to sound alarm. Blood holes, dried, yet slightly wet in some crevices of rock, caked over by a shriveling foam and grime. The meek of conscience dared not to enter the woods at the news of this, yet restless adolescents took to their flashlights and dragged the games of their goading to the thicket of woods, and lured their younger brothers to test their bravery in the darkness, and amongst the echo of strange chitter-chatter of species, tiny and darting from sight. Little bugs, gnats, winged critters shrinking from the snaps of their feet upon branches, The angst-ridden curiosity of the children continue nightly through spring, summer, and fall into the next spring and summer, when the bloody and foamy discoveries continue throughout different pockets of the woods. And each time, larger and larger fragments of bones were found in the surrounding brush. Angus Pickford, pissed that his students no longer did their homework, pulled himself from an empty slumber and took to the patches of woods behind his home to shine his lantern. His frustration to find an answer to his dilemma as an educator fueled what became the most eldritch zoological discovery to date. A grunting and moaning that shot unsettling echoes through the disorienting weave of the pine groves shot Angus into anxious darting and pausing to gauge the proper whereabouts and the origin of the moaning. A part of Angus, stained by years of skepticism, clouded and set forth the assumption that it was childish antics. He whipped around the bend of a crooked tree into a gully where his shouting was met with a blood-curdling cry of utter surrender. All I can say is that monsters do have a place in reality and that our dreams do not just take them from thin air. The living thing stood 10 feet tall, whitish in its body fur, sharp fangs glide out from the upper jaw, continued down like a Fu Manchu that continues down from the lips. The belly stained a brown red, swollen pads blistered the paws. The papers declared the power of its jaws to snap through flesh and the immensity of glands that produce such an acidic saliva that decay and rip the fabric of bones into a liquid. Nothing remains of the bodies. An adult man can be consumed and flushed down the enormous trachea by wash of a saliva incomparable to any other creature alive or known. The autopsies revealed cellular damage to the saliva glands and swollen nodules that produced such an excess of foam that did not contain the spice of the acid necessary to break the particles of dinner into a clean milkshake of the mouth and belly. The foaming began to overflow and did not serve its purpose. Thus, we see that the beast took to beating its prey with its hands and chewing, spraying blood, caking the area with a sloshing saliva. His degeneration betrayed his secrecy. His once clean predation now left a mess. And Angus Pickford, when he read the report, then understood the wicked foaming of the bewildered beast that he scanned in his eyes as he took it down like prey, skinny and gnawing on a little boy that would not quite dissolve in its mouth, frothing and slobbering, in sharpest contrast to the morning's cool frost. Thank you.